Tonight, still to come, I'll be joined by the comedian, actor and game show host who's just added newsreader to his CV. Brian Conley's here, and with music from the hit West End musical Jersey Boys. But first, it's day 2 in our search to find Britain's next publishing sensation, the People's Novelist. Today, 4 more authors will be battling it out to be crowned champion and see their book in print and published by HarperCollins. We'll meet them in just a second, but first let's check in with our 3 judges, our 80 bookworms. It's a welcome back to best-selling author Cathy Kelly, along with writer and broadcaster Penny Smith, and our theme for today is women's fiction, so who better to be our guest judge than the woman who's written 10 bestsellers, including her new one, Midnight, which is out right now. Josephine Cox. Jo, welcome. This title, Women's Fiction, is a bit misleading, really, because, I mean, anybody can read them. But they're sort of stories about relationships, aren't they, really? I think a lot of them are, yes, but they used to have the romance section, the saga section, and I think they've lumped them all together now under, you know, women's fiction. So what are you looking for in these entries? We're looking to be deeply moved by the story. We're looking for a strength in the plot and the characters, of course. Yes. Because for me, the characters are the most important. OK. Let's see if we can get our characters to move you. That's our panel. Now let's meet our first author. Please welcome Gillian Moran from Leeds. Gillian, lovely to see you. Best of luck. Have a seat. So, what inspired you to write your novel? What's it called?
My novel's called Slim Girls Don't Stitch, which is a quote from my main protagonist.
And the book's about what?
Basically, it's a story of Rosa, who is a formerly obese woman who, having lost a lot of weight and kept it off, is then roped in to help out on a weight loss TV reality show. Gosh.
Now, I mean, how much of this is sort of personal experience?
Well, I used to be a lot heavier than I am now. I lost a lot of weight and I've kept most of it off. So the issues of how to lose weight and struggle with your demons and keep them at bay is something I'm quite familiar with. OK, let's see what our judges thought. Cathy?
I thought incredibly funny, and you have an amazingly strong authorial voice. I thought it was very sparky and funny, and the dialogue is amazing. I could really see it being a sort of a TV thing. It was very televisual. The one thing I would say is that I couldn't understand how this woman who would have, having been overweight, lost the weight and had suffered so many cruel taunts, would go along with this TV show, which I felt was going to be a little cruel. That was my one thing. I just couldn't...
OK, let me move to Penny now. Penny?
And the problem for me, let's face it, everybody who's got through has done so well.
We have nearly 1,000 entries, so these are good.
1,000 entries, and you've all done brilliantly. So we were just having a conversation beforehand, saying constructive criticism. My constructive criticism is that television doesn't work that way. You don't suddenly set up all these kind of people, applicants first, before getting a commission. You do the commission first and then get the applicants. So I mean that might be something to.
Because she knows about that. You see, Jo, briefly.
Well, at first glance. Gillian, I sort of compare your story or your book to a dish with a lid, and you look at it and you think that's one thing, i.e. the weight loss and the dieting, but then when you take the lid off there is so much more inside, the characters and the bitchiness and all of that, and I think that's where your strength lies, do you know?
Depth of character. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Gillian Moran. Well done, Gillian. Thank you. Author number 2 is Madeleine Reiss from Cambridge. Madeleine, good to see you. So, what do you do for a living, Madeleine? Do you do anything for a living, Madeleine?
I work for a homelessness charity at the moment.
Right, so have you always wanted to write?
I did write as a child a lot. I used to fill up exercise books with little scribblings, but I've never really had the courage to write a novel.
So, you've done it now. It's called Brancaster.
It is.
It's a very nice beach at Brancaster.
Beautiful.
Tell us the essence of the story.
It's about a woman whose child goes missing, and in the process of her grief, she's persuaded by her mother, with whom she has a slightly ambiguous relationship, that she should go and see a medium. And the medium at first seems to be a con artist, but starts to give her messages of hope about her son. But then these messages change and become about another boy who seems to be in danger. So the story is...
so there's a degree of mystery involved in this as well.
It's a sort of thriller love story.
Thriller love story. Penny, did you like it?
I thought it was excellent, and I thought your prose style is incredibly elegant. I thought it was it read like a proper novel. It was pacey, lots of good hooks. I thought it was interesting that Anna, though, the main person in it, is called Fogg throughout, and I wondered why.
Her surname is Fogg, so her friends just call her Fogg just because...
So there was no particular reason for it being...
Josephine?
A very powerful story, very, very powerful, Madeleine, and very, very emotional. You depict all the scenes as if you're actually there. And so, for me, that's great, because I like to be right in there, you know, amongst it. Excellent dialogue and beautiful scenes. Actually brings a tear to the eye.
You seem to be really getting the thumbs up here. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Madeleine Reiss. Well done, Madeleine. Well, these are the top 16 this week from 1,000, so they are good. Author number 3 is Lara Higgins from Melton Mowbray. So what do you do, Lara?
I'm a lunchtime supervisor. I get paid to make children eat vegetables.
Good for you. We need to eat them. I'm growing them. They can eat them. So, always wanted to write fiction. Is this a way of getting out of the school, or what?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed writing. I was a secret writer. I came out of the closet about 4 years ago and started to try and circulate my work.
So what's your book called and what's it about?
Mrs. Jones. It's a modern take on Brief Encounter set at the bottom of a garden when a wayward actor, Riley Donovan, appears in Beth Jones's life.
Gosh, I can see Celia Johnson and Trevor Howard now. Joe?
Very light-hearted, easy, enjoyable read. I'd like to give you a little bit of my ideas of the characters. We see the characters through your eyes. I'd like to see the characters through my eyes. For instance, the man who is at the bottom of the garden, and what we see of him is his cropped hair and sunglasses. And I don't know what he looks like. So if you could just think about that, I think you've got something there.
Fleshing out.
You've got something there, yeah.
Kathy?
I thought, you know, great humour. I think you write humour really, really well. I think a little bit like Gillian, too, this great spark for humour. I don't know, I think you could almost made it deeper in some way. I don't know, I think there's a different book in you. I don't know what I thought.
But finding your voice is often, it takes time, doesn't it? Sometimes it can be a very good voice when you find it.
Yeah, I think you've this lovely voice, and I just can't think there's something else there that's supposed to be written. I don't know.
Penny, very briefly, please.
But I thought Beth was engaging and fun, and Riley was shaping up to a very good hero, and I did want to learn more.
It's always a good point. Turn the page. Ladies and gentlemen, Lara Higgins. Well done, Lara. Our fourth and final author is Melanie Brown from North Molton in Devon. So, tell us about yours. Title of your book?
The Wedding Cake Tree.
And what's it about?
It's basically the story of a 30-year-old paparazzi photographer whose mother dies unexpectedly to her. She goes to Devon for the reading of the will, and she's shocked to find that her mother isn't going to just hand over her estate, or is she? She's going to send her on a journey around the Great British Isles to some beautiful locations so that she can discover her real mum, because she's had a secret past. Yeah. And in doing so, she not only finds out the truth about her mother, but has a journey herself for her own future.
Sounds as though this book was fairly well developed in you. Have you always written? Or you...
No, I was in the armed forces for years, so... but this book, it's part of my own experience. It's not the actual plot, but maybe the emotion.
The emotions. Ah, that's it. OK, Kathy, your first up.
I thought, Melanie, when I read the synopsis, I thought I would buy a book in the shop based on this synopsis. Like a shot. I think it was absolutely fabulous, and the trip her mother wanted her to take on. I loved that. I think the one thing I couldn't get over was the fact that her mum died and was ill for 6 months, and she didn't tell her daughter. I just kept thinking, no, I can't I just couldn't see that. And I think that was almost like starting in the wrong place. You know, it's so important where you start the book. And I think we should have started it when the mum was, you know, still alive.
OK, let me move on to Penny. Penny?
I thought it was an interesting storyline, a good romantic interest, and it was well written and it was brilliant. But the thing is that the only thing I would say, and again, coming back to the constructive criticism, there were so many spelling mistakes and sort of things like that. I always think always get someone else to proofread it, even if it happens to be the next door neighbour, because it stops you reading. Well, it stops me reading anyway. It stops me kind of believing, because I'm busy going, ooh. It's just me, probably.
Jo.
Very powerful story, very uplifting. Again, it's the mother for me. I would have loved to have met the mother before she died. I wanted to... I read the letter that she wrote, the first letter, and it moved me so much that I felt I knew her and I wanted to meet her. So it would have been nicer for me, and probably a lot of other people, if you'd have just shifted back a bit and let us just have a little taste of the mother.
Right.
But you obviously hooked them, you know, you got them in there. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Melanie Brown. I don't envy them their job, you know. It's extremely difficult. That's the 4 authors in each 2 judges having read and deliberated over the submissions. You now have to decide who goes through to the final of the People's Novelist. Will it be Gillian Moran from Leeds with her novel Slim Girls Don't Stitch? Could it be Madeleine Reiss from Cambridge with her book Brancaster? Perhaps it's Lara Higgins from Melton Mowbray with Mrs. Jones. Or will it be Melanie Brown from North Melton with her novel The Wedding Cake Tree? Judges, your time is up. Penny, can you pass me the envelope, please? Thank you very much. I have no idea what's in it. Gillian. Madeleine. Gillian. Madeleine. Lara. And Melanie. Only one of you can go through to the final of the People's Novelist and be one step closer to getting your book published. The person going through to Friday's final is... Madeleine Reiss.
I'm astonished.
You're astonished?
I am, yes.
Why are you astonished?
I didn't expect to be even here, let alone win this
Well,
heat.
you are. Why, Madeleine?
Well, from my point of view, it just felt like a novel already. I don't know whether you've actually finished it, but not quite. Not quite.
Well, you have to know. So Madeleine's our second finalist and joins Jane Cable in Friday's Decider. My thanks to all of our budding authors and, of course, to the judges, Kathy Kelly, Penny Smith and Josephine Cox. Thank you very much. If you want to read any of the submissions, just go to our website, itv.com/Alan. Still ahead, we've more unpredictable antics from the comedy legend Brian Conley, and there's music from the Jersey Boys. We'll see you in a sec.
Sit back and don't go anywhere. SCS Sofas, sponsors of the Alan Titchmarsh Show. Enjoy more great entertainment. SCS Sofas, sponsors of the Alan Titchmarsh Show.